Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So, continuing on with the Hobbywing speed controllers, we have the 1080 G2. So I'll bring you in for a close-up look on this, show you what the differences are between this and the original classic version, or V1, and take you through a few of its features. But let's bring you in for a close-up. So, quite different to the G1 in respects that not only do you get the XT60, you also have the motor wires with the connections now pre-attached. You've got your power and programming button. Then you've got multiple different connections. Now, your standard one is for normal receiver connection. Then you've got two auxiliary ones. And I believe what these are for is, one, you can set that to a channel and it will reverse the motor direction. And the other one, you can alter the drag brake on the fly by assigning a dial to the channel that you connect that to, and then you can vary the drag brake actually as you're driving. We do get a little sort of rubber connector that covers the programming port. It's also drilled and tapped for the for a fan, so you can mount a standard ESC fan to the top of it. But unlike the version 1, you get very little else in the box. We get the instructions, there's no heat shrink, no stickers to mount it. There is no stickers, any of the Hobbywing stickers, they don't come with them anymore. So yeah, it depends whether you actually want the features of this one or the other one. Also, no programming card or anything. So let's have a quick look through the actual instructions and see if they've put the programming table and see if we can find anything else that's changed. So, programming table wise, it looks exactly the same as the earlier version. Other than our BEC voltage now can go up to 8.4 volt. We've also got a real car option on the running mode. So yeah, we might have a few more options on there. Exactly the same process to actually calibrate the ESC. So we still 80 amp with 400 amp burst, 540 and 550 motors, 2S3S or 5 to 6 cell NIM. The BEC has been upgraded to 6, 7.4, 8.4, but also 4 amp up from 3 amp. So, single white cable. This cable is used to connect auxiliary channel and cooperate with the real car mode. In real car mode of the ESC, realise the function of real-time switching of the motor direction, rotation direction through the transmitter. For details, refer to introduction of real car mode, below parameters. Single orange cable can be used to connect auxiliary channel, which can realise the function of real-time and linear adjustment of the drag brake force through the transmitter. Right, so what's this real car mode? Real car mode, when this mode is set, pushing the throttle trigger is always brake. The purpose is to simulate the real vehicle and realise of smooth downhill of the vehicle through control of the brake. In addition, when this mode is set, connect the single white cable of the ESC auxiliary to channel of a receiver. Real-time switching of the motor direction can be realised through channel switch or key corresponding to the transmitter. That is, the vehicle can move forward or backwards by pulling the throttle through control of the transmitter. When maximum brake force is not enough, you can reverse the motor rotation and then pull trigger just to push back. So basically it allows pushing of the brake to always be the brake and never go into reverse, and then you press and hold a button on the transmitter and pull the trigger and that'll reverse the motor direction. So probably take a bit of getting used to, but I could see where this could be beneficial if your motor brake hasn't got enough brake force to stop your car rolling down a hill. you could then press the extra button on your transmitter and pull the throttle, and that'll put the vehicle in reverse. So yeah, quite an interesting way to do it. But let's see if we can get it plugged into a programmer and see if we can program it using the original ESC programmer for the 1080. So this is how I've connected it up. So again, into the programming side of the program card, then into your speed controller with the white wire facing towards the receiver wires. Plug in your power, and then we should be able to power up. So it does connect up to it. So let's run through the settings. So setting number 1 is originally set to forward and reverse. If we put that on 4, which I'm going to be using this in a touring car, not a crawler. So when you're racing, you don't want reverse enabled because you're not allowed to. But if reverse is assigned to a button, then when I'm practicing, rather than change the ESC setup, I can just enable that channel lock controller, and if I need to reverse, I just press the button, pull throttle, and I can reverse. So we're going to set that to number 4. As next menu is LiPo or NIM, and we've got it on LiPo, so that's fine. Menu number 3 is voltage cutoff, and it's currently set to option 3, which is medium, so I'll try it at that. Number 4 is initial start force, and that's set to 4%, so I'll try it at that. We can always alter it. Menu number 5 is set to option 4, which is maximum forward force 100%. Next menu should be number 2, maximum reverse 50%. As next one, number 7. So we've got option 9, which is 100% brake. As I said before, you can always turn that down with your endpoints on your transmitter. Number 8 is initial brake force. So we've got that at 0. Number 9 is as drag brake. So I'm going to set that to 1 because I don't want any drag brake to start with. Then number 10 we've got set to 4, which is drag brake rate, so I'll leave that set. Number 11 is as neutral, so I'll leave that where it is. Number 12 is punch mode, so at minute it's set on 5, which is sort of mid, so that should be fine. PWM frequency we've got set at 8K, so I'll try it at that and keep an eye on the temps. Number 14 is as BEC voltage, which we have set to 6 volt. I'm going to leave it at that because I'm running 2S and I'd rather have it consistent than slowing down as the battery drains. If you're running 3S, more than adequate to set it at 7.4 or 8.4 volt. You'll always be above that voltage. And then number 15, we have freewheeling. So this is set to disabled. I need this set to enabled. And then back to option 1. So yeah, you can program it through the programmer for the 1080. Would have been nice if they still included that. It is fully programmable off the original 1080 programming card or any of the other Hobbywings. I would have liked it to have still come with a programming card because programming with a button is an absolute pain. But these are really cheap and you only need one between all your RCs. So I can kind of see why they've been doing this for a long time and now they've stopped. Really like the fact that you've now got proper fan mount option. They have increased the price of it, but then they've also increased the functionality and it now comes with plugs connected, which if you don't want them, you can chop them off. And if you do want them, at least you ain't got to try and crimp your own or solder your own plugs on, which is nice. But let's wrap this one up. So there you have it. That is the G2. That's the G1. There is ever so slight difference in size, but the G2 definitely comes with a bigger capacitor. The overall footprint is not really any different. There's probably a few millimeters in it, if that, but I would have thought anyway that the G1 will fit, the G2 should. There's definitely more cooling on the G2. So that might be better if you want to run the higher sample rates for the throttle, or if you're basically giving it a bit more stick. Certainly still got the same length cables, no difference in the power cable length. I don't think there's any difference, no difference in the receiver cables, but looks like the power feed cable is slightly longer on the newer one, and possibly the motor cable's ever so slightly longer, but there's not really much in it. But again, shout out to Dave and the crew at RD Models. They helped us get these in for review. But as always, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check out the prices on these things and availability. But there you have it. Thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.